Simplified Khaos, Episode 19.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to start leading a more purposeful life.
This is Simplified Khaos.
Hey, wonderful friends. Welcome to our podcast. I am Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with Nicholas, my husband.
What's going on, folks?
And today's episode is all about celebrating more, but with less.
I'm intrigued.
Well,
and
you
I
should
also
be.
like celebrating.
We decided on the topic together.
Yes, we did. But I like doing more with less.
All right. You have like a goofy ass look on your face, just in case nobody else can see you.
No.
But I'm just trying to paint a picture of how goofy you look right now.
I'm a goofball.
But
I can't help
you.
myself. So, now that you know that we're diving into, it's time to go over to some gratitude. I like gratitude too.
And for those who are joining us for the first time, every episode we do a little gratitude segment. And I kind of like our gratitude segments because we get to shout out to a lot of local places, which is where I want to shout out to today. All
right. So you're going first then.
We do live in Maryland, and today I was fortunate enough to have a lady day date, and my husband Nicholas here was able to watch Lucille.
We had a great time.
So I'm grateful for day dates with my lady friend. Shout out to my girl Waxler. And I usually don't drink during the day because this mama gets sleepy pretty quickly.
What'd you do when you got home?
I took a nap.
Yeah.
But shout out to Maggie's Farm in Baltimore. It is an amazing brunch spot. They had delectable cocktails and the best chicken and waffles I've ever had. And it takes a lot to impress me. And kind of goes back to that episode about how we're okay being snobs.
Yeah.
Because our tastes are pretty supreme now, I like to say. We know what we like. We know what we don't like. And it was an overall amazing experience. Bartender was awesome. Food was great. Ambiance was quaint. And it's a very small little spot. But such a hidden gem in Baltimore. I never would have thought that place was there.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to try it. And I would say that I'm jealous, but I did have a great afternoon with Lucille, especially at Total Wine. She was just taking it all in. There was just so much liquor there.
It's funny.
I was trying to educate her on cordials and sweet vermouth. And then, of course, I was in the rye whiskey aisle. So
the importance of life, those are the staples we need to teach her.
And then we went to Wawa. She had her first trip to Wawa, too. I don't think anybody's taken her there yet.
No, we have not.
So we had a good afternoon.
Sounds like some fun field trips.
We did. We had a great field trip.
Is that what you're grateful for, or is there something else?
No, I'm actually grateful for our walks that we take. Because I feel like we had one of those walks this morning that was just really good. And we were talking about today's episode, which is going to be a really great episode. And we were just kind of generating some more ideas. And it led into a lot of different paths, which, we could probably talk for hours on this subject. We're only going to talk for 30 minutes. But we had a very in-depth conversation that took a lot of twists and turns, but it was exciting,
it was
fun. We were getting
riveting
exercise. Lucille got a little nap in, but more importantly, she was, exploring the neighborhoods as well, which she always does. She's very observant. But yeah, I'm grateful that we make time for walks and have those deep conversations.
And we don't always agree on things, but we seem to ping pong back and forth pretty respectfully. And I love that you challenge me, and hopefully I challenge you and push you.
You do. I have to think critically on a Saturday.
Okay. I dig that about us. We push each other to grow and think outside the box and just think in different perspectives. So
yeah, and now we pass that information along to you guys so that to help you think and make decisions which is best for you in your path or your journey. So without further ado, let's jump into today's topic, which is celebrating more with less.
You sound like a freaking newscaster.
I feel like just
back to you, Janet.
Who's Janet?
I don't know. It just came to mind.
I don't even know
But
if I know any newscasters named Janet.
I have no idea. I don't watch the news anymore.
Anytime I hear Janet, I just think Janet Reno. I don't know why.
All I think of is Will Ferrell when I hear Janet Reno. Like he was the
Oh
one who
yeah, he
impersonated her
was.
on
He
SNL.
was.
Okay. So
Anyways, back on track.
we're getting focused. The reason we wanted to talk about celebrating more with less because we have well, there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
We just celebrated Easter. We have Mother's Day coming up, and Lucille's birthday is coming
And
up.
Father's Day.
And Father's Day.
Faja. So yeah, no, there's a few holidays coming up, and we've just celebrated a couple holidays, and it really gets us thinking about how we want to celebrate and simplify that chaos that can be celebrating these holidays, whether it's trying to figure out what gift to get for a loved one or for a kid, or just the stress that goes behind a lot of these, setting up a party for your baby. There's a lot of things that can be extremely stressful, but we're thinking about doing things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and the first question I asked Nick was, and I even reflected on this too, is like just thinking about Lucille's birthday coming up, and I kind of dove into this mindset, like already comparing what I wanted to do with Lucille with other people. And
Right.
for example,
And it's very easy to do that too.
it's so easy. And, originally I was saying like, I just want to go to a brewery and just shout out to people and be like, listen, we're going to be here at this time. If you want to come out and hang out with us, that would be awesome. If not, no big deal. I told Nick, like, I don't want to cater it. I don't want to bring food. I may or may not make cupcakes, but really, I just want it to be super chill. No stress involved. Just this is the day we're going to be there. If you want to come and hang out, hang out. And please don't bring presents.
No.
We just want your presence.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like thinking about that, I was like really confident, like that's what I want to do. And then all of a sudden my mind started going to, oh, remember our one friends, they had a birthday at a brewery, but they brought food and they had sandwiches and they had this really pretty cake and they had this and they had that. And already I was like feeling guilty. Like, what if are we supposed to have food? Like, are people going to judge us if it's not catered or if we're not going to have favors or this? And immediately, like, I had to stop myself and think, like, that's not us. Like,
Right.
Nobody's going to judge us for how we celebrate. Like, if it's not what typically, quotation marks, what people may do for birthdays, like, who cares? Like, I feel like people don't care about that. They just care about the people.
Well, and I think for us, it's Lucille's birthday. She's our daughter, and we want to celebrate it the way that we want to do that. And the way we want to celebrate that is putting no pressure on anybody. No pressure to hang out with us, no pressure to buy a gift. Come and hang out if you'd like, and if you don't, we're not going to be offended. We understand that people's lives are extremely busy these days, and we're coming up on the summer months where everyone has stuff planned, and I know our June is already packing. Lucille's birthday is on the 7th, and we have something on the 8th, we have something on the 15th, we have something on the 1st, which are all Saturdays, and so I mean our month is packing, is filling up, but we're not going to be offended if people can't make it out. But again, we don't want to put any pressure on anybody. We don't want to put pressure on ourselves. We just want to be and have a good time with people who want to come out.
But I think like the way we've had celebrations in the past, my husband's groping me. I'm sorry. Thank you for like setting me off course.
Yeah.
No, I think just thinking about my past birthdays and birthday celebrations we go to, it makes it really easy to compare the way you want to celebrate versus how everyone else is doing it, and to make yourself feel like less adequate because you don't want to do all the planning. Like, I'm the type of person who loves having parties. I love having get-togethers, but I really don't care about the minor details. I don't really care about the decorations. I only care about the people and the food. That is what's important to me.
Right.
That's me. That's my perspective. And I know other people have different ways, and some people are really passionate about the planning process. But honestly, the planning process of parties is what stresses me out.
Mm-hmm.
And I rather just celebrate by picking a location that everyone can have a good time in and just saying, meet us here, have a good time. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, how many people out there are, going above and beyond and doing things that they don't want to do when it comes to birthdays or holidays, Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, anniversaries. I mean, there's just so much stress and so much emphasis placed on these different holidays and events. And, really, to me, it seems unnecessary. Again, for us, it's about who's there, and who's there celebrating with us. And again, if you can't make it, it's not a big deal. There's other days in the year that we can celebrate. Just because this one day came up for us, it doesn't mean that, it's make or break. If you're going to show up, great. If you don't, I hate you forever. It's not like that at all.
I think we think people care, and that's the other thing about when we talked about in Simplified wardrobe episode, that we think people care what we look like, or they're going to remember how we're dressed. But it's like, really, we're the only ones who are worried about that.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
we
to
come
stop
up with all
caring.
this stuff in our minds, and it's not necessary whatsoever.
Yeah, like people are not. If people are going to judge us because of how we throw a party, then apparently they're
Right.
not the people that we need to be hanging out with.
Yeah, yeah.
But so I was talking to Nick earlier that I know many of you probably know Alice in Wonderland, but I don't know how I got in this quote unquote rabbit hole. It's funny how that lines up to the story.
Right.
But anyway, so I just typed in Unbirthday on Google because there's a part in Alice in Wonderland where they talk about a very unbirthday. Did I say unhappy?
No, you said on birthday.
Okay, a very happy unbirthday. And I always wondered what that meant. So I found the chapter, and I didn't read the whole chapter, but man, Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice in the Looking Glass, man, he has a lot of deep stuff in that book that I never realized. It's crazy story, but there's a lot of hidden gems and meaning in behind what he wrote. And I don't know if I interpret it the right way, but this is how I interpret it, is that there's a chapter about Humpty Dumpty who gets a gift from the queen, and he's saying like, oh, it's a gift. It's my unbirthday gift. And Alice is like, what's an unbirthday gift? And he's like, it's a gift you get when it's not your birthday. And she's like, well, birthday gifts are the best. And he's like, I don't understand. Why are birthday gifts the best? And he's like, well, how many days are in a year? And she's like, well, 365. And he said, well, on birthdays, there's 364 days you can get a gift. Like how many days? So that means you only get a birthday gift on one day. And she said, yeah. And if you think about it, like that conversation there, it's like, why choose one day to feel special and to celebrate when we have 364 days
Right.
that we can do something small every day to celebrate. So to me, when it is a birthday, it is a special event.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just another day with you guys. Like, because I feel like every day to me,
Mm-hmm.
we deliberately choose to do special things
Right.
to celebrate just being alive and being together. I know
Right.
it sounds very cheesy, but it just kind of puts in perspective that if you think about it, like the holidays that we have, it's like, why do we have to wait till that one day to do something when we have 364 days that we can do something small each day to
Right.
celebrate us being alive instead of doing something huge on just one day?
Right. Well, and that also got us to talking about, when we do birthdays, and particularly when Lucille gets a little bit older, we're not gonna ask her what does she want for her birthday. We're gonna ask her what would she like to do for her birthday, so that we can come up with an experience rather than asking her about material things that she could possibly only like for 2 days, and then it goes by the wayside. But we want to ask her, what does she want to do? And I think there was another way we were talking about wording that. But
Yeah, I think another way to word it, instead of saying, what do you want for Christmas or what do you want for your birthday? It's, how do you want to spend your time on that day?
right,
And I
right,
think that's something so small in the wording and the way we ask, but it's something so huge to make kids or a person think about an experience rather than a material gift. So instead of what do you want, it's like, how do you want to spend your time? And to me, that for us brings more meaning and more joy to our life than anything else.
right. And I didn't realize this until we were talking about this again today, is that for my mom, for Mother's Day, she wanted an experience. She wanted us to help her with planting flowers in the garden, and only asked for 2 hours of our time, on the one day a year. And to her, that was an event. That was something that she could do with the family. It brought her joy. In turn, it brought us joy that she was happy. But we didn't have to overthink it. We didn't have to go out and try to find a gift or order flowers or anything like that. We did something that she really enjoyed. And it's kind of funny how you reflect on that. But that's the way that I would like to be, with celebrating birthdays, holidays, what have you.
And I know you asked me, like, what do you want to do for Mother's Day? And
Right.
Mother's Day is coming up, and
I didn't ask you what you wanted, but I asked you what would you like to do.
that's true.
Yeah.
Wow. See how it's such a habit to ask that because that's what I've been imprinted to do.
Right.
But you did ask me how do I want to spend my
And
time?
it's your first one too, and I want to make sure I don't screw this up either.
No, but to me, like honestly, this just goes back to how I view the whole birthday thing. Like I'd rather celebrate on Mother's Day
Right.
than Mother's Day because I'd rather have more days to celebrate than just one. So when you asked me that question, literally my answer was like, honestly, can we just do what we normally do? Like,
Yeah.
just see
Maybe
how
just
we
go for a
feel.
hike or
Just see
something
how we
like that.
feel.
Yeah.
And I think that says a lot if you just want it to be a normal day in your routine of just doing whatever feels right for you. I think that means that you're living life the happiest that you want to live it. And if a holiday isn't any day that's different than any others, I think that means you're living life the right way because I think we should be living our life like a holiday every day because there's more days that aren't special occasions than there are special occasions that are labeled. So to me, it speaks loudly if I say like, honestly, I just want us to be together and just to feel the day out, whatever speaks to us and let's just do it. But I think that says a lot about the way we're living that obviously I love our life and I love that we do something small every day to make it special. And I think that's how it should be.
Right.
That's probably why I don't really see the whole big thing about Valentine's Day. I mean, I know it's your birthday, but to me, it's like we show each other every day that we love each other, whether it's a small compliment or a text message or just actions like you
Grabbing
doing the
your
dishes, grabbing my butt, but you doing the dishes, like simple little things is what makes my day special and shows me that you care and love me.
Same here.
I don't need one day to have this big ordeal. And that's kind of how I feel about my birthday as well. Like, I'd rather have 364 days to celebrate versus just one.
And it's funny when we started dating, like I think that first maybe 2 years like that, we thought that we had to do something for each other, but we very quickly decided that we always wanted to make something of, an experience rather than gifts or anything like that. So we've been actually practicing that for quite a long time when it comes to holidays and birthdays and anniversaries and stuff like that. I mean, it for us, it is another day, but like you said, I think that makes every day more special.
And I know my mom I grew up in a family that my mom always made sure that she bought us gifts and it was always equal between my sister and my sister and me.
Yep.
And ever since we started changing how we celebrate to having an activity versus a gift, it took my mom a little bit to catch on, but now she's the one who I think she may even love it more than we do. She loves the fact that we don't do gifts anymore. And she was one of those people who really enjoyed buying gifts, but now she's like there's no stress anymore, of trying to find you guys something. She loves she loves going to new places and she loves treating us to go to new places. So even if you think that your family may not like it or may not understand it, or you're like, well, my family never does that. Like they love buying gifts. I'm telling you, my mom was one of those people who loved buying gifts. And now she completely loves how we don't do it anymore. She'd rather experience more.
Right.
So it is possible if you start a new way of celebrating.
Sure.
In the beginning, it's going to be tough.
It's very tough. And even still, just thinking about Lucille's birthday, I think I mentioned something to you today. It's just having that feeling, well, what if she misses out on this or what if she misses out on that? But if we start this from the very beginning, she might not feel like she's missing out on anything, and again, we're doing an experience, something that she's going to be able to look back on and say, I remember this. And I know, we had a conversation earlier today as well saying where you said, I can't remember one thing that I got for my birthday as a kid. I remember certain people who were there, certain experiences that I had, but I can't remember one gift that I was ever given when I was a kid.
And that just, to me, that speaks very loud. If you reflect on your birthdays, it's what do you remember about your birthdays? Let's see. I remember my friends at the time. I remember specific games we played. Gifts are I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. It's
what
really
about
tough. It's very tough to remember. I think I remember one Christmas, the one thing that I remembered because we used it a ton was a hockey goal.
And that was something you used. So
yes.
It was an experience, really.
Yes. It ended up becoming an experience. We put it out front of the house, shot balls at it and dented the siding. It was aluminum siding, so we dented the hell out of it. But no, we got great use out of it. But it's very tough to remember like any of the gifts that you got.
And I think most
You can
families,
generalize it,
yeah, but I
but that's
think
about it.
most families, they want to make their child happy or make other people happy, and they want to make memories. Most importantly, they want to make very long-lasting memories. But honestly, if you think back at your birthdays, what are those long-lasting memories? Are they an item? Are they a material good? Are they an actual physical gift? Or is it the people or the activity that you did with those people or
Right.
the place that you visited? And that is usually what I remember. And I'm sure a lot of people are the same way, and
Yeah.
they really don't think about it. But honestly, it's like Lucille's not going to be missing out by not getting all these material gifts. Those aren't going to be memories for her.
Mm-mm.
It's the places that she goes. It's the people
No.
she's surrounded by. So that kind of motivates me and encourages me that we're on the right track and that Lucille's not missing out on anything if she's not getting a lot of presents.
No. And the other thing is that we were talking about, because I want to kind of shift gears and talk about the holidays too, because how we're gonna the way that the holidays are is, Christmas, you get a ton of gifts. With Easter, you get candy, and evidently you get gifts now for Easter too. And we were talking about how we want to raise Lucille and how we are going to handle Christmas and Easter. And, this is, again, we're just saying this is what's best for us and our family. We're not saying that other people, need to follow what we're doing. We're just trying to make people think about this and question. We're all about questioning normal, or what we consider normal, and why we do things, and is it because we consider it quote unquote normal. But
I wouldn't even say normal. I'd say like what society,
well, and that's
what
what
majority
I mean.
of society does. It's like,
Exactly.
why do we do it?
But
Does
that's
it make
what I
sense
think
for
that's
us?
what normal is. But we're not gonna I'm not gonna take Lucille to see the Easter Bunny, or I'm not gonna take Lucille to visit Santa Claus. And really, the reason is I don't know how she's going to react. And the last thing I want her to do is be terrified of a bunny or a person with a beard. And to me, it just seems like, and this is just me personally, I know other people might think differently, but I just don't think it's, I don't want to put her in a position where she might be terrified of something. Now, there's going to be obviously points in her life where she's scared or whatnot, but like this is something I feel is forced, and I don't want to do that.
But I think it's not just like, I know that's your opinion about the
Right.
whole
This is
Easter
just
Bunny
how
and
I
Santa,
feel.
but I think what most importantly is that you talked about how we question things. It's, first, a lot of people take their kids and it's like, they take their kid to get that picture to have. Like, oh, my kid, this is his first picture at the Easter Bunny. And that's awesome. Like, if
Mhm.
you want that memory to document. But we had to question, like, well, should we do what everyone else is doing? Or should we ask ourselves, like, why should we, like, why do we not want to bring her? And
Right.
it's like, well, we don't want to see the Easter Bunny, obviously.
Yeah.
We don't want to go to a mall.
No, we don't go to the mall. So
We-
why would we go out of our way to go to the mall?
We don't want a photograph of her with the Easter Bunny. Like, it's not important for us. So to us, like, just answering those questions about the why, like, why would we, or why should we, or why should not we, like, why shouldn't we? And just questioning ourselves, like, it just doesn't make sense for us. So I feel like before you do anything that you think you're quote unquote supposed to do with kids, it's just to think really quickly before you do it. And like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because it's going to make me happy? Am I doing this because it's going to make Lucille happy? And that's kind of when it goes back to celebrations. Like, do I want to throw a big party because it's going to make me happy? Or do I want to throw a big party because that's what everyone else is doing on their first birthday party
Right.
with their babies? And,
Right.
I really think it's important with it, whatever holiday or celebration you have, is just a question like, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you think you have to, because everyone else is doing it? Or are you doing it because this is genuinely what's going to make you happy?
I agree. No, and I think for us, simplifying everything and asking those questions, asking why we're doing this, and then if it's something that we just don't feel like is necessary or doesn't meet our our philosophy, or if it's going to be overwhelming.
Philosophy.
Yeah,
Sounds
we're such a philosophizer.
sophisticated.
So we're just questioning a lot of things and really trying to make the best decision for we know what's the best for us. Like, obviously, we've had this conversation. We know how we want to handle, our birthdays and anniversaries and stuff like that. But, trying to figure out what's the best way to help Lucille grow. And we want her to be all about experiences and not about material things.
And we also talked about how we don't know what's best for everybody. We can only share our experiences and what's best for us. And we don't want to pressure Lucille to live the way we are living. And that's going to be really tough to let go of control. Like, we don't want to say, Lucille, we're going away for your birthday. Like, that's what we're doing. We take trips on birthdays. And I really want Lucille to be part of the process. And I want to model and show her what we do to celebrate, and then give her the choice. Like, how do you want to celebrate your birthday?
Right.
Do you want to go away to, a new spot or whatever, or do you want to have a party? Or just giving her those options so that she can make the decision that's best for her, because we don't know what's best for Lucille.
No.
We can only model and guide her and show her and inform her.
Right.
And we ultimately want her to choose what makes her happy, because we don't know we can give her what she needs, clothing, water,
Right.
But ultimately, like, we don't want to pressure anyone to do something they don't want to do, including Lucille. And just because we're parents doesn't mean we know what's best.
Exactly. No, especially, when they reach that age where they can start thinking critically, and, when they start understanding things and, can express emotion, how they feel and stuff like that, that's when, it's like, okay, this little person can now make a decision for themselves.
Very young. A lot of people don't think that.
It starts younger than a lot of us realize. And so that's what we're going to do.
And of course we have boundaries. People are probably like, oh my God, what's this kid going to choose to do? We're going to have boundaries for her. But
Absolutely.
Again, this is how we're thinking about celebrating now. And we wanted to share it with you guys, because I don't know if you guys are feeling frustrated or overwhelmed with celebrating special birthdays or holidays and feel pressured to do a certain thing or celebrate a certain way, but just to kind of rethink on if it's really bringing you joy, and if not, change it.
I like it. Do you got any resources for our folks here?
No resources today.
No. All right.
No.
This is off the cuff then.
It is.
I like it. So I guess that means we're getting into the quote of the day.
Sure are.
All right.
The quote of the day is by Tom Peters, and it is, celebrate what you want to see more of.
That's plain and simple. Straightforward.
So whatever you value, celebrate it. Whatever you want the people around you to see that brings you joy, that makes you happy, celebrate it. If you don't value things and material items and lots of gifts, then why have that in your celebrations? Why have that during your holidays? It's
stressful.
Celebrate what you want to see more of.
I agree. Very simple.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else we have today, Jilly? Got ourselves a nice, short, compact episode.
We do.
All right.
I think that's it.
Well, thank you folks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it, take a screenshot and put it on Instagram and tag somebody in it. Otherwise, we thank you for hanging out with us this week, and we will talk to you next week.
See you later, guys.
We want to thank everybody for listening today. Please be sure to subscribe and sign up to receive notifications so you know when the next episode is live. If you like today's episode and know someone who could benefit from the topic we covered, please share it with them. And if you have any suggestions for us or want to chime in on today's topic, you can email us at simplifiedchaospodcast@gmail.com, and that's chaos with a K, or send us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you